George Calioris coming at you live, West Bend, Wisconsin. Working on these squats today. Head over to Standown Apparel, get yourself one of these AMRAP shirts. Kevin's a great guy. The company is a great company. They stand up for what they believe in. This is 385 raw. Working on that warm up there. I wanted to feel as terrible as I could for as long as I could to make sure that when I took out 405 with a belt and knee sleeves on, that it felt good. It would feel light as shit. So my first set of 405, I was just being cautious, fired up, super fired up. If you guys know me, you know that I've been having this goal since last summer. And it's not necessarily the weight, but it was the progression, the journey to where I could squat 405 without any pain in my hip, any pain in my glute, in my sciatic nerve. And I hit this for a W on the first set here. And honestly, it wasn't too bad. I got a little forward on my toes in the first rep, which seems to be a problem with me lately. I'm afraid to drive my heels down and actually use my use that leverage properly. But if you notice, my back doesn't move at all. My stomach doesn't move at all. The angle of my hips stays the same throughout the entire lift, and I credit that to working the heavy yoke, but also to the safety squat bar. Loading up something with a lot of weight and walking with it, stabilizing the hips and trunk. My hips don't move. My back angle stays pretty much the same throughout the entire range of motion. It dips a little bit at the bottom. And you can see my knees stay pretty solid. I do have a little bit of movement throughout the range of motion in this set. The next set's a little bit worse. But point being is that the squat is more of a core workout. It's not a leg workout like most people think. If you can keep your core tight and stay in the same space, your legs should be able to squat the weight no problem. This is the same set, just a different angle here. So moving on. I think this was the final set of 405. It should be anyway. I did a set of 2 and then a set of 3. So again, I was pretty fired up about this. Now that it's been a few days, it's actually the next day. I was just ready to get back to the grind. Ready to get back to work, do my 10 sets of 10 on my deload week with about 225. Maybe I'll just try for 100 reps. But you can see I have my nanos on too. I don't even have my lifters on. And that's because my lifters were just pushing me down too far. Were allowing me to drop too far into the squat. I wasn't feeling good like that. I wasn't feeling strong or stable. It was hurting my hip, and I didn't like it. So I just left my lifters on. I widened out my stance like I usually do, and I was able to hit these squats. I don't know if the USAPL would pass them, but they're of depth. Fuck the USAPL, by the way. I'm just kidding. I don't really care. But this is again that third set. Now I'm starting to get tired. You can see a lot more shift, a lot more wavering of my body, of my knees. This is where you really find out your weaknesses. And although it looks pretty consistent, there's some things I need to be able to work on. And then I took this 315 out, and I thought, you know, I'll just try to beat my old record of 13 reps. I'll do 15. No, not just by 1, I'll do it by 2. I'll do 15 reps. Trying to just kind of keep my balance. I don't have my hands super tight on the bar. They're just kind of resting there. Not trying to drop too fast into the squat because, again, I don't want to just hurt myself. I don't want to just bounce out of the hole. But you can see as you know, I get more comfortable. I start going a little bit quicker, a little bit deeper. Start to relax a little bit at the bottom. So I got to 15, or I got to 13. I'm like, all right, 2 more. And then I went to 15. I'm like, fuck it, I might as well do 16. I feel pretty good still. Then I did 16. I'm like, fuck it, I'll do 17. And then I started dying at around 17, and everybody started yelling at me. So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well keep going now. So I got to 18. I thought my legs were gonna blow off. My back was tight. When I got to 19, I'm like, fuck, dude, I should just do 1 more, make it an even 20. And that's what I did. So I did 20 reps with 315 after some heavy volume work. You can see I'm setting my back every time. Trying to rest at the top a little bit. See how shaky my legs are. Battle cry? Yeah, I put my soft belt on for that one so I could actually breathe through the range of motion. Have some flexibility.
Fucking 20. Shit.
And then I hit it for 2 sets of 6 afters too. So a little more than 30 reps, what I was trying to do. But my legs were not happy squatting after this. I tried to bring in my stance a little bit too, which probably had something to do with it. If I kept my stance out wide, I'd be able to squat 315 for another set of 10, but I wanted to actually use my legs and not just my hips and my back. So it's all good. And then pull the sled. I had the sled loaded up with about 320. Pulled it pretty short rest. Probably, I think I pulled it 6 times. Supersetting with back extensions, just a 45-pound plate. And then I called it a day. So head over to Standown Apparel, get yourself one of these AMRAP shirts. Become a badass, get yourself a red shirt to wear on Fridays. I just got myself another shirt, and I'm telling you, they add poundage to your weights. Add poundage to your weights and make it better work. Take care.